Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to a discourse on the greatest power of now and how it can catalyze a profound awakening within us. We begin by turning our gaze inward to the essence of our being, where the present moment resides as the most fundamental aspect of our experience. The present is the stage on which the play of life unfolds, the only time where action takes place, decisions are made, and life is truly lived. It's in this very moment that the fabric of existence weaves itself into the rich tapestry we observe as reality. Yet, how often do we find ourselves absent from these moments, our minds entangled in the web of yesteryears or lost in the mirage of tomorrows? In this recognition lies our first lesson, the art of conscious presence. To be consciously present is to fully inhabit the space we occupy, to sense the breath as it enters and exits our lungs, to feel the weight of our bodies in the chair we sit upon, and to truly hear the sounds that flutter to our ears. We begin to notice that the mind has a tendency to wander, to escape the now, seeking refuge in the past or the future. But what if we gently guide it back, time and again, to the current experience? We become observers, witnesses to the thoughts and feelings that pass through us without becoming ensnared by them. Now, I invite you to consider this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be fully absorbed by the now, without a hint of yesterday's shadows or tomorrow's light? This is not a question meant to criticize, but rather to open a door to introspection. By recognizing the rarity of such moments, we can begin to see the value in cultivating them. Conscious presence is not a passive state. It requires effort, a deliberate choice to return to the now whenever we drift away. It is in this effort that we find a wellspring of power, for in the now, we are the masters of our attention, architects of our perceptions, and creators of our reality. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons. As we practice this conscious presence, we might find that the now expands, becoming richer and more vibrant. The mundane becomes miraculous, and the ordinary becomes extraordinary. A simple walk becomes a symphony of sensations, and a conversation becomes a dance of energy and expression. In the midst of this awakened state, we start to dismantle the barriers we have built within ourselves. We no longer identify solely with the roles we play or the labels society has placed upon us. We connect with a deeper sense of self, one that is not defined by achievements, possessions, or status. The now becomes a gateway to a deeper understanding of who we are at our core, beyond the constructs of identity. Let us sit with this realization for a moment, and then, when you are ready, we will continue our exploration into the transformative power of presence. The alchemy of acceptance in the eternal now. In the tapestry of spiritual discourse, acceptance is a golden thread that weaves through the fabric of our awakening. As we venture deeper into the heart of the present moment, we encounter the alchemy of acceptance, a transformative process that turns the lead of resistance into the gold of serenity. Acceptance is often misunderstood. It is not a surrender to complacency, nor is it an admission of defeat. Rather, it is the recognition of the reality of this moment, with all its imperfections and beauty, and the choice to embrace it wholeheartedly. It is through this embrace that we come to know peace. Now, let us explore the nature of resistance. Resistance is the force that pushes against what is, the mental and emotional struggle we experience when faced with aspects of life that we find disagreeable or painful. It is the no we whisper or shout against the unfolding of events, the futile attempt to mold the present into something it is not. Consider a time when you resisted what was happening in your life. How did it feel within your body? How did it shape your actions and thoughts? In resistance, there is constriction, tension, a closing off to the flow of life. In the act of acceptance, conversely, there is an opening, a release, a letting go. We allow life to flow through us, to teach us, to guide us even through tumultuous waters. In acceptance, we find an inner stillness, a quiet strength that comes not from controlling life but from merging with it. Now, let us turn our attention to the question of how we practice this acceptance in the now. It begins with awareness, with the recognition of the resistance we hold within. This awareness is not a judgment. It is simply an observation, as one might notice the ebb and flow of the tides. From this place of awareness, we move into the space of allowing. We allow our feelings to surface, to be felt fully. We allow our thoughts to arise, to be acknowledged. We allow life to be as it is, without the need to change it in this moment. Herein lies a profound paradox. It is through the full acceptance of what is that the potential for change reveals itself. When we stop struggling against the present, we tap into a well of energy that was previously consumed by our resistance. This energy then becomes available for constructive action, for the inspired movement that can alter our circumstances. At the heart of acceptance is the understanding that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is a memory, the future a dream, but the now is real and alive. By accepting the now, we align ourselves with the dynamic pulse of life. Let this idea settle within you, and when you feel ready, we will move forward, carrying with us the wisdom of acceptance as we continue our journey into the power of the present moment. The luminous clarity of present moment awareness. As we traverse the landscape of our inner world, we come to a clearing where the light of awareness shines with an illuminating brilliance. This is the realm of present moment awareness, a state of being where we perceive life with a luminous clarity that pierces through the fog of unconscious living. In this heightened state of awareness, every aspect of our experience becomes more vivid. Colors appear more radiant, sounds resonate with a clearer tone, and the subtleties of our interactions with others become more pronounced. This clarity is not simply a refinement of our sensory perception, but a profound deepening of our engagement with the world. The key to unlocking this clarity lies in our ability to maintain an alert and focused awareness on the unfolding of the present. It is akin to the steady flame of a candle in a dark room, casting light on all that it touches. Let us now turn our focus to the practice of cultivating this awareness. It begins with a simple yet powerful intention, to be awake in each moment. We set this intention not as a rigid goal to be achieved, but as a compass to guide our journey. In our daily lives, we each perform countless actions on autopilot, operating under the tyranny of habit. But what if we chose, instead, to perform each action with deliberate consciousness? Imagine the act of washing dishes, feeling the warmth of the water, the slipperiness of soap, and the texture of each dish. This is the practice of mindfulness, the art of bringing a full, non-judgmental awareness to our moment-to-moment experience. As we engage in this practice, we may notice the myriad ways in which our mind distracts us from the now. It pulls us into the past with regrets or nostalgia, or it propels us into the future with worries or fantasies. Yet, with gentle perseverance, we can train the mind to remain with the present, to rest in the tranquility of now. Why is this clarity so crucial to our spiritual awakening? It is because, within this clarity, the illusions that we have held about ourselves and the world begin to dissolve. We see beyond the stories we have constructed, the identities we have assumed, and the expectations we have harbored. In this clear seeing, we come to understand the transient nature of all phenomena, how everything arises, lingers for a time, and then passes away. This understanding nurtures within us a profound sense of peace and equanimity as we come to accept the impermanent dance of existence. Now, I invite you to reflect on the following inquiry. How might your life transform if you viewed each experience through the lens of present moment awareness? As you contemplate this, notice the stillness that arises within you, the space that opens up when you focus on the now. This is the space of possibility, the fertile ground from which wisdom grows. With the seeds of clarity now sown, let us prepare to venture forth into the final dimension of our exploration. When you are ready, we will delve into the transformative power of presence as it relates to our interconnectedness with all that is. The interconnected self, unity in the tapestry of now. In this final passage of our exploration, we arrive at the profound realization of interconnectedness, the understanding that we are not isolated beings, but rather integral threads in the grand tapestry of existence, woven together in the timeless fabric of the now. The power of the present moment is not only found within the confines of our individual experience, but also in the connections we share with all living beings and the universe itself. This realization can be both humbling and exalting, as it invites us to expand our sense of self beyond the limited ego and embrace a more inclusive and expansive identity. To experience this interconnectedness, we must first dissolve the barriers we have erected in our minds. These walls, built from fear, judgment, and separation, keep us confined to a narrow sense of self. As these barriers come down, we start to perceive the oneness that underlies the apparent diversity of forms. Imagine a forest where each tree stands tall, grounded in the earth, reaching for the sky. Each tree may appear separate, but beneath the soil, their roots intertwine, creating a network of support, nourishment, and communication. So too are we rooted in the shared ground of being, our lives intertwined with countless others. In this space, the illusion of otherness fades, and we begin to recognize ourselves in the faces of strangers, in the flight of a bird, and the rustling of leaves. This recognition brings with it a powerful sense of compassion and empathy, for we know that the joys and sufferings of others are not so different from our own. So how do we cultivate this sense of interconnectedness? It begins with the intention to see beyond our differences, to look for the essence that binds us. This intention is not passive. It is an active engagement with the world, a commitment to listen deeply, to observe without bias, and to engage with kindness and respect. As we embody this intention, our actions naturally align with it. We become stewards of the earth, caretakers of our communities, and champions of love and justice. We act not out of a sense of duty or obligation, but from a place of genuine connection to all life. The implications of living from this interconnected state are vast. We no longer feel alone in our struggles, for we recognize the support system that exists all around us. We find joy in the successes of others, for their triumphs are a celebration of the whole. We approach conflict with a desire for resolution that honors all parties, for we see that in harming another, we harm ourselves. In this unity, we find the ultimate power of the now, the ability to create a world that reflects the beauty and diversity of its inhabitants, a world where the well-being of one is linked to the well-being of all. I invite you to take a quiet moment to reflect on the ways in which you are connected to the vast web of life. How does this awareness of interconnectedness change the way you view your actions, your relationships, and your place in the world? As we bring our journey to a close, Let us carry forward the wisdom of the now, the conscious presence, the acceptance, the clarity, and the interconnectedness that we have uncovered. These are not just concepts to be understood, but living truths to be embodied in each moment of our lives. Let us step forward with open hearts and minds, ready to live fully and love deeply in the greatest power of now. This concludes our exploration. May the insights resonate within you, and may your awakening to the now be ever unfolding.